Sean and Brad as they talk about sports and share a beer. From the east coast of Canada to the west coast of the United States. Over to you, boys.
Everybody, what's good with you? Hey, guys, beer sports. Sean and Brad coming to you live with our friend Reid Homer. My name is Brad Tesh. I'm one of the hosts of the show. With us always, Sean Valancourt. Good morning, fellas.
Morning, Bradley. How are you? You're looking handsome.
Thank you, sir.
I'm liking the shades, the glasses.
Yeah, thank you.
They're fresh as shit, as
looks
always.
good.
Thank you. Just
What do the kids call that? The drip.
Yeah, the drip.
The drip. God damn.
You'll be back in soon, Reid. You got a kid. You'll pretty soon they start dressing you in. That's just how it works out.
I'm looking forward
Brad,
to
it looks like Reid right now is like I don't know, like honoring a funeral or something like that. Like
wow.
Because shaving the head, cutting everything off. It's either something fresh and new or there's a loss, one or the other. Yeah.
No, I do this every year. Did it a little early this year. Usually I do it around the day after the new year. But
we got a big show today. Listen, the NFL world, the whole sports world lost a great icon, and John Madden will be talking about that. Hey, the NHL's back. We're going to be talking about the outdoor game in Minnesota. And
can we put an asterisk on that because maybe the NHL is not back?
No, the NHL's back in certain pockets of the U.S. We'll talk about that. Let's get into this. Huh? Yeah.
Well, first of all, John Madden, I think, raise your hand if you weren't impacted by John Madden. That's the craziest thing. But secondly, maybe more surprising is the people that I'm included in thought he was already dead. So
that was literally my reaction was like, where the fuck has he been?
Yeah.
Like he's 85, right? Like he's not that old where what kind of shape was he in? What was his life like the last 3 years? I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
Well, I think he was on the road in order to get inducted into the Hall of Fame a few years back. I remember he was alive then. That was a couple of years back. And then he just kind of just went into, solitude. I don't know if it was his health going down. I don't know what exactly that was going on there. But, he was 85.
Yeah, it was time. I think what I've been able to surmise from my internet sleuthing is that he had a neighborhood that he lived in New York that protected him at all costs, and he just lived his life.
That's awesome. That's the because
yep.
Yeah, Stan Lee at the end
he just was walking around just doing his thing. No one's taking pictures of him.
They
protected him as national treasure, right, as they should.
Yeah, it was like when Stan Lee passed, and like the last year of his life or so was rife with, there was those people that had him kind of like kidnapped. They dumped him into a home. They were fighting over his estate. It was just fucking ugly. And the fact that John Madden, again, we all thought he died years ago. Isn't that the best case scenario? Yeah. Right. Where you 100%. Die and everyone's like, how the fuck was that person still alive?
Yeah.
Because that means he had like a good 5-6 years of just doing whatever the hell he wanted to do after being on TV every day for 50 years.
Well, yeah. Man, I would even say that it was even further than being on TV every day because he was in everyone's video games too growing up.
That's exactly it.
He was just an icon.
The thing about him, what was it? He had one of the best winning records as a head coach, right? And people forget that he was a great head coach. He brought those Oakland Raiders to championships.
Yep.
And then quit at the height of it to become a broadcaster and reinvented himself. That's what's wild. Right?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then you think about it, he reinvented himself as a broadcaster, color commentator, people always making these imitations, you know what I mean? Like
Frank Caliendo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And just how much he advanced, forget about even the video game world, but just the whole entire NFL going forward. He was like Wayne Gretzky, and he was never a player. He was a coach.
Yeah, I would argue that he transcended football. I think what to be sports media today is because of John Madden.
Yeah.
I would agree with you completely.
Because it's totally a cultural icon too across the board.
100%.
Right? Like, I can't sit there and like with a straight face on Thanksgiving, like think about turducken without thinking about John Madden just like trying to wrap. It was like 20 years ago. He was trying to wrap his head around the concept.
Yeah.
And he went on for like 15 minutes. And Frank Caliendo actually had a bit about it. It was fucking hilarious. But
my grandpa, we always would watch football on Sundays together, and he had a love-hate relationship with John Madden, and he would always say that John Madden had diarrhea of the mouth every week because he was always on some wild shit, you know.
He did. He was like if you watch boxing, like the Larry Merchant type, you know, towards the end. And it wasn't like an old man thing. It was just like that's everyone hears like Larry Merchant towards the end of his career, or even John Madden. They're just like, oh, that's so sad. It's like, no, he was like that 30 years ago. That's just how he talks.
He was so excited as a fan, he couldn't put his words together. It's a lot like Sean sometimes when he's talking about things that get him fired up.
Thank you, Brad. Yes.
What you do is the person with the most points wins. Yeah, no shit. Really?
My favorite though was he was explaining, you know, with the X's and the O's there, explaining like some sort of thing that was going on there on the field, but he wasn't talking any intelligible words. It was just
it was definitely. And again, I have a soft spot in my heart for, you know, folks like that, like you know, because Boston we had Mayor Menino for so long, Mayor Mumbles Menino, and you know, you just have a soft spot where you can a guy can get on stage and talk for an hour and you have no idea what you leave with like.
But he's so wildly entertaining, right? There's just something about his persona that just is beautiful.
Yeah, it's charisma, you know, and that's what John Madden had a legit love of the game. And I'll tell you, you know, I played, you know, Pee Wee and Pop Warner football and stuff like that. I didn't know what a nickel package. I didn't know shit until it was John Madden every Sunday. That was school. It was church and school all in one for me.
Yeah, and then playing the games, right? I can dissect defenses now because I played so much Madden.
Yeah, I didn't know what, you know, the slant. Well, the slants was easy actually, but the flats, I had no idea what the flats were until Madden. Yeah. You know,
well, Sean, you have the wing, you have a drumette or a drum, and then you have the flats. Now, a lot of people say they like the drum the best, but I'm a flat guy.
Listen, I'll tell you this: if someone tells you their favorite is a drum, it's because they're lazy.
Yeah, and they're sick. They're sick. Yeah. And there's gonna be some meat left on that bone. So that's all you need to know about the flat.
There we go. Man. Rest in peace, John Madden.
I'll just say my favorite John Madden moment, I'll close with this, is when he illustrated Troy Aikman trying to grow a beard. If you haven't seen it, you got to go watch it. You can find it everywhere right now. But he broke out the telestrator and he like circled the spots on Troy Aikman's face where he could not grow hair, and it was the best.
Couldn't happen to a better guy.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I think my hatred of Troy Aikman comes from John Madden, just to be perfectly frank.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was a cutesy like on-screen thing. It seemed like John Madden literally hated Troy Aikman.
Yeah,
and I love him for that so much.
Yeah, me too. Hey, I mean, also in the same breath of entertaining people, we lost Betty White yesterday.
Yeah,
which I mean, we should all be so lucky to die at, you know, turning 100 years old and be beloved by everyone and be well known and respected and loved and die in your sleep or however she passed away. Like that's, you know, but again, go back.
I like to imagine it was a gunfight is how she went out. Like, you know, like she was getting chased by a cartel and she's like half out the window.
She was
John Wick.
She was so, listen, this is how respected she is in the comedy world, is that all the comedy folks on Twitter last night, like the professional comedians, all had one-liners they wrote about Betty White.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll muck this up because I forget exactly who it was, but somebody said that he was like, "Man, damn it, Betty White, I wonder about that Coke laced with fentanyl." Yep, that's how we want to imagine her going out. Gunfights.
I wouldn't be surprised. Shit. Yeah, hood rat shit.
Yeah,
you know,
she was the best. I love the way she would trash. I spent probably an hour last night just watching outtakes of her on TV shows where she was talking shit to people in between takes or flubs, and she was just so funny, but also so kind. Like it was hilarious to watch her just have these, you know, crazy one-liners.
I just can't believe how
it's when I try to, like, you know, talk trash and then love it up with a pillow.
Her career seemed to have taken off even more so when she became a senior citizen. Like her career.
So I'm 42 years old and she's been old my entire life.
That's exactly it. You know, I mean, she had 100 years.
Yeah.
So she had 60 years on us.
Yeah. She was on TV in 8 different decades.
Yeah. Crazy.
Trying to understand the scope and the magnitude of that.
Yeah. Well, first of all,
Wow.
you go back to when she started, right? And she was not a protected class citizen, which is crazy to even say. Right?
Yeah. Considering these days, you know.
She started as a woman and made it out that way. Like she finished as a woman too. That was probably misleading to say she.
Yeah, I don't know what you were trying to say there, Brad.
Especially to me, like I'm like, yeah, these days, like, well, she started out a woman.
Yep, she ended. She ended the way she started. Sorry,
she died as Sylvester Stallone. Fun fact. Sylvester Stallone.
Man, all right.
No,
all
but
right.
yeah, you talk about somebody who just like handled it. You know, handled the procession of time with so much grace. With how many people are disgraced these days.
Yeah,
you know, no matter how big the public lens got and how deep it was able to go, every little dark corner and secret, she never seemed to have a bad take on anything. You know, I can find you video of Eric Clapton yelling "Keep England White" right now. You know, like, I can find that from like 1972. Where's that on Betty White?
You won't
with a
find
woman her she's 18 years older than my dad when she passed. My dad she was 18 when my dad was born. My dad was born in 1940. That's fucked up.
He could have been.
How does she
your
not have
dad's
anything?
mom?
Yep.
Seriously.
That could have been your grandma.
Great grandma.
I think
grandma.
I think my dad's mom was 16 when my dad was born because that's how they wrote back.
She was younger than Betty White. That's how crazy that lady is.
That's crazy.
Mad respect to Betty White.
Yeah. Hey, R.I.P.
Do you have a favorite Betty White quote? Because I'll tell you what mine is.
Let's hear it. I don't have one.
Oh, okay.
I got nothing.
She said, "I don't understand why people always say it's brave or that you're tough if you have balls because the pussy takes the real pounding."
She probably said that in moments before her passing too. Deuces.
Oh my
gosh! Edit
gosh.
that out. My mom won't like that joke.
Leave it in.
All right. Hey,
sorry, Mrs. Tesh.
Let's move on. Wow, Brad. Let's move on to the outdoor game.
Listen, as for a guy who owns a Cleveland Steamer shirt, I am shocked that you had never heard that. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
It's great though. I appreciate it. Hey, so we have an outdoor game going on in the NHL today. Minnesota is hosting it. It's going to be crazy. Those St. Louis Blues traveling to Minnesota. They're playing in Target Field. It's supposed to be the coldest,
beautiful ballpark.
coldest game, coldest outdoor game ever. Negative 23 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but that's frigid. I can't even imagine the puck hitting you at that weather with that kind of frigidness. It's gonna be crazy.
This is how bitch made Canada is this.
Whoa!
It's fucking amazing to sit here and listen to a Canadian allegedly. Negative 23 Celsius is cold.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah, I feel like it's not cold.
Yeah,
that is cold, boys. Get the negative 23.
My math
that's
might
cold.
be wrong, but I feel like negative 23 is like 60.
I was trying to do the rough math, and I thought it was closer to like 28. So
yeah.
No, guys, no. Negative 30 is negative 30. Both sides.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yes.
So when it goes negative, we stop with the conversion.
Negative 30 is negative 30.
All right, so negative 30 Celsius is negative 22 Fahrenheit. So wrong again, Sean. 30 is not 22.
Listen, it's cold. It's cold. And with the wind chill, who knows where that's going to be at.
Well, let's just say this. The weather report today says that it's negative 10, sunny, and feels like negative 28.
There you go. That's going to be cold.
Feels
cold.
like negative 28. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this is another big mistake on the NHL's part.
Listen, we just say that all professional sports and even just sports in general right now are just in money grabs.
Yeah, that's they
know they can
air.
None of the things they're doing make sense.
Here's the weirdest thing that I can't stop thinking about. All through the lockdown and still to this day, the guy that's done it right, better than anyone else, has been Dana fucking White.
Yeah, I agree.
That's crazy.
I agree.
It's crazy. He's the most sensible sports organization on. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, but how do you get 32 teams? How do you get 32 teams to all
John
agree?
McCain is rolling over in his grave.
How do you get 32 teams? How do you get 32 teams to all agree to the way that you're going to be able to run this? Because you have 32 different cities is what you're ending up coming down to at the end of it. And some of these cities, well, basketball, baseball.
So negative.
Warning,
You have
warning!
negative
Here comes some
teams.
nationalism.
No, in
32
Canada. So we have
teams in
seven. We have
Celsius.
7 teams,
That's
right? In
22
Canada.
teams in America.
Trigger warning! Trigger warning!
We have
Jonathan
7
Burke.
teams in the NHL in Canada,
Carry
and
the 2.
so the thing is that you have 7 teams, and
Okay.
now we had to cancel so many games in Canada because of.
Did you
the
have
fear
to
of-
really? Did you have to?
You know that the government was giving pressure. They had to do something because nobody wants Omicron.
Did they
here.
have to though?
Brad,
Aren't you guys gonna get Omicron anyways?
Reid,
Come on.
I want to. Yes.
You want to get Omicron?
No. And I wouldn't even be worried about Omicron.
You wouldn't even know what to do with it.
I have no idea.
You're gonna get so much Omicron now.
John thinks
Wait.
it's like graduating from McLeod Loudy. He's like, oh, Omicron, I can put that on my resume.
Oh, it's Omicron Loudy.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Is that it's we're down to 1,000 people in Ontario to attend games.
That's it?
That's it.
You only have 1,000 people left in Ontario?
Yeah, that's
wild.
it. 1,000
I thought that
people
was
can
one.
go to games. Okay, so right now, currently, it's like Serge Ibaka came back in the NBA there to play the Raptors to nobody. Came back to nobody,
Sounds about
which is
right.
fine. I don't care. It's Serge Ibaka. It's not like
When I think
whatever.
Serge Ibaka, I think the LA Clippers. Just to be honest with you.
Well, that's exactly what it. That's how what you think because he won a championship in LA. Okay.
I don't
Definitely
I don't associate players with where they won championships unless they were like a part of that country or part of that team before that.
Right.
Like Kyle Lowry is the only Toronto Raptor I think that deserves to be Toronto Raptor champion. Like Kawhi Leonard saying he won a championship in Toronto was silly to me.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
not his
all I'm
claim to
saying
fame.
is that like Canada shut down games because all these players ended up testing positive, right? So finally, the NFL, I think the NHL is about to adopt this as well, where it's like unless you have symptoms, that's the only way that you're going to get tested, because otherwise you're going to be shutting down games all the time.
It's
Because
not
that's
true.
how highly
If you're
contagious.
unvaccinated, you get tested every day, regardless of what your symptoms are. If you're
Right.
vaccinated, it's only if you have symptoms.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
Doesn't matter.
it depends on what your, it's all this other math they're doing. to get
Right.
Viral loads and all this other stuff.
Right. We're talking about the NHL here, though, where pretty much
Well, you
The-
said also.
I know what I said.
I'm
The
just telling you
NFL
that's not
the NFL, of course, if you're unvaccinated, you're still going to get tested. I didn't mean to mislead anybody. You're absolutely correct, Brett. But if you don't show symptoms and you're vaccinated, you're not going to get tested. Okay. So, and that's the thing that the NHL is
You
that.
know why that is? Because they're tired of having Henry Joe Franklin that played backup linebacker start at quarterback for somebody. Like
No, I totally agree.
this is a giant money grab. Let's just talk about let's talk about the NHL. Let's talk about this. How about my favorite Brad and your favorite Brad, Marshawn, talking about how the grossness of them not going to the Olympics is. That's terrible. That's a terrible
Well,
take on the NHL's part.
Yeah, the NHL, I think, had to do that in order to protect themselves because if you're going to because you're going there.
Oh, they didn't. They're rolling. Listen, you're watching third string guys start games now
All right.
on a taxi squad.
Let's just
What is
stop
what
for
is the
one moment
difference
here,
between
Brad.
that?
Let me just
No
touch
different.
on this here because if you were to let these guys go over to China, that's where they're going. They're going to China. They're not going to some other country. They're going to communist China to play.
Oh, Jesus.
They're going to go over there and play. Now, all of a sudden, let's just say,
Sorry, our fan base in China. Please don't stop
Yeah.
showing our show.
let's just say
Sean's,
you end up.
Sean's Tibetan, so he actually has a real claim.
Let's
to be
just-
angry at China.
Let's just say now all of a sudden you're playing hockey there. You catch COVID. These are your stars. What do? The
Sean,
NHL just shuts
Sean,
down?
Sean,
No.
they're getting
You
Sean,
put them. You look.
They're getting COVID. They're getting COVID anyways.
Yeah.
That's right.
They're
But
getting
now you have
COVID
to
in
wait.
fucking-
What do you think? What do you think happens?
They should have.
What do you think happens? What do you think happens if you catch COVID in a foreign country? Do you think you just get to come back and isolate back at home?
No, I think you should.
No, you have to isolate
I
in
don't think it
China.
fucking
That's
matters.
correct.
Well, if
No,
you're a
it
real-
does
if
matter.
You're a real
You'd ha-
franchise that has actual money. You fly your players private over there. like the NBA did with their stars when they went to go play.
Why would they invest any money for a national team?
Because they agreed to do it with the players. The NHLPA and the NHL have this agreement in place, and the NHL is not having taxi squad specifically during the Olympics, so they can't go play in the Olympics. They can't even opt in. If they wanted to, they could say, I'm going to take a leave of absence and go play in the Olympics, and that's not allowed.
I'm sorry. I agree with the NHL on this.
No,
I do.
Why are they doing it now? Why would they do it now and not do it during the Olympics?
Because of everything else. The whole entire political landscape of this right now.
Lamar Ball's kid had shoplifted in China, and they just flew a plane over there and got him out. What are they going to do? You're telling me we can't get people out of China on a private plane? Come on, man.
Totally can.
Come on.
And they ain't going to do shit because they need us to buy stuff.
Yeah, they don't want to.
Yeah, this whole thing, I understood the call. I don't like anything about it. No, I'm really at sorts now with just where we're at. You're going to be flying over there to play against other guys that are also playing in the NHL, right? And it's like there's this big concern. It's like they're going to be playing each other fucking anyways. What difference does it make, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what difference does it make? You're just doing it in China. Like you're like communist China. Like, yeah, but they don't know that though, because they're going to be getting off a private jet on a private airfield into a private limousine. It's just like anywhere else for these fucking guys. It's not going to be any different.
Honestly, I think
are they going to be walking around fucking wet markets in Wuhan? No.
Yeah,
they're going to be in fucking wherever it is, Shanghai or whatever the fuck. Like,
I personally think that the world just was looking for reasons in order to pull whatever out of there. I mean, that's my own personal opinion. Okay, I'm not saying that that's exactly what happened because I don't know, but I do know that the NHL made a business decision based on the safety of the players. And that's what they ended up doing.
This is why
they said it was based off the safety of the players.
Just stop with the safety of the players.
You don't think so?
You don't think so? It doesn't make any sense.
They're not doing it now. If they would care about the safety of the players, they'd have a bubble again. They don't give a shit about the safety of the players. But having a taxi squad, right? It's the same way they have them in.
I disagree.
I watched Greg Monroe, right? Yeah. Greg Monroe hasn't played basketball professionally in 3 years. He hasn't played in the NBA in 5.
Right.
I watched him start the other night. Okay. They're bringing him up because they need to have the players. The same thing with NFL. You got people coming out of retirement on a practice squads. I watched Adrian Peterson's old ass who made it 3 games and now he's on IR.
Yeah.
Whatever. And that's all good and well to keep the games going. And that's what the NHL is doing. For them to stop the taxi squad.
How do you figure that even is in the same conversation of going to China? How do you figure that's even the same conversation?
You're missing the whole bulk of the conversation. You keep saying going to China. It could be fucking Burkina Faso. It could be fucking Midway Island. It doesn't matter. Again, when you actually think about what's occurring there, right? They're getting off of an airplane, all very controlled, getting off an airplane, and they're not flying commercial, right?
Yeah.
Getting off a fucking airplane, they're getting on a fucking private thing, going to a fucking place where there's all these controls in place. You're not talking about a safer situation. If you're going to get COVID during that whole thing, that whole spiel, it's going to be on the ice against another NHL player that you're going to be playing against anyways.
You don't think it won't be at the Olympic Village? You don't think anything like that?
They don't stay there.
They don't stay there. These aren't
athletes stay at the Olympic Village. These
aren't bobsledders. Right? These guys that are making millions of fucking dollars a year. You're going to tell Alex Ovechkin to stay in a fucking Olympic Village? We got the cardboard beds. Sean, are you insane?
That's where they all stay. Everybody stays at the Olympic Village. Last Olympics, that's where they stayed as well. I don't know if you realize this, but that's where they stayed. They weren't staying at some.
I follow the players on social media. I'm telling you, Draymond Green and Kevin Durant 100% were not in Olympic Village.
Yeah, but that's NBA. We're talking NHL here. Totally two different leagues. There's an association and a league. God. I'm telling you.
There's an association and a league. That's the answer.
Yeah, that's the answer.
You're telling me the stars of a league who make millions of dollars are going to sleep in a dorm room?
It's like, yeah, my dad was married. He totally only had sex with one woman the entire time. Yeah, that's exactly how that went. Yeah. It was a piece of paper. He couldn't do it. Obviously, he's not allowed. Unbelievable. Connor McDavid, you've seen his house. You think you're gonna get him to sleep in a fucking cardboard bed?
The fragility of these
Holy
arguments
shit.
is crazy to me.
Now he's going to imright.com.
Yeah, imright.com. That's what I'm going.
Yeah.
Well,
This
this
is
is
a
fun.
YouTube video of someone in a dorm room. Well,
Yeah.
He's going,
I hate to say it, guys. I hate to say it.
Sergei Gonchar, 2000.
Every time they went to the Olympic Village, we're talking the NHL here, boys. It's not what you guys think.
Sean, you out of your
Jeez.
fucking mind.
I'm
I
not.
think they were saying in the Olympic Village.
Oh my gosh. That's
And
exactly
they got a
what
couple
they're
of photo opportunities. That's insane. You're out of your goddamn mind.
If you say. Yeah.
All right.
I'm telling
Anyways, moving on. So Sean's naive.
speaking of people that make terrible decisions, what about Kirk Cousins in Minnesota?
Speaking of negative 23.
Yeah, negative 23. That's
So that
crazy.
scoring differential starting to look like there. And
This is the time of the year that we're going to see, these personal decisions come back to really impact teams. Right, wrong, or different. I understand he had a decision to make.
Yeah.
And then he had his famous press conference of like, I'll encase myself in plexiglass if I have to not make sure that happens. And then they are dead nuts in a playoff race. If they lose, I believe they're out. I'll look at that in a minute.
And that
Yeah,
team,
the starting quarterback
All right.
is now out.
Poor Mike Zimmer, man. And you know what? I want to say poor Mike Zimmer, but at the same time, Bill Belichick, I think, really wanted to have Cam Newton come back this year, but he put him in a situation where he just couldn't roll the dice in that. And now I'm really starting to look at that decision, and again, I have to sit there and applaud Bill for making that fucking move where he's just like, absolutely not.
I think that Mike Zimmer would have made that same move if he wasn't that Kirk Cousins is on the deal for next year also. Guess how much money he's guaranteed next year?
I don't want to.
$35 million.
Kirk Cousins?
Yep.
He's still driving his dead grandmother's van, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, but wasn't all of his money
Sean,
in
I
his
guarantee
original?
you that I guarantee you that Kirk Cousins would stay in the Olympic Village. Let's just put it that way.
Hey, listen, boys, you both are wrong. Because if you have a look at the 2014 Olympics, you both are wrong. 2014 Olympics, the U.S. stayed at the Olympic Village. Team Canada stayed at the Olympic Village. I don't even understand where you guys are getting this. Wow. Anyways.
Stayed. Hey, Sean, when I was 17, I was staying at my best friend's house on a sleepover on Friday night, but really my girlfriend's parents were out of town.
Hey, listen.
That's what you're I
that's
was
all
over
good.
there
All
long
good
enough
news.
for her to call me.
All
to say,
good
hey,
news.
Are you over at Daniel's house? And I was like, yeah, I'll be here all night, Mom. And before the phone clicked when I hung it up, I was in my car on the way to my girlfriend's house.
There you go.
So I stayed at Daniel's house.
Okay. Hey, your mom's going to find out now.
She knows already. I've been telling her little things. I've been slowly breaking her in over the last,
slowly pulling back the veil.
No, I agree though. I mean, it's a bit of a letdown for the players, but I also agree. I see with the NHL. Yeah, I see with
the biggest nationalists I know. You have.
I know
it's
your country. Also but I also the NHL. I'm sorry. I want to see the Leafs win a cup. I don't care. We don't go to China. Whatever. It's all good.
Well, listen, you're going to be disappointed on both ends.
And besides, what are you all concerned about? You aren't winning the gold medal game against Canada. You guys.
Oh boy, here we go.
In what sport?
In hockey.
Oh yeah. Okay, we win in every other one. You guys can have one.
Ones that matter.
Listen, trash cans get staked sometimes too, homeboy. Like that's just how that works.
All right.
And Sean, I just want to make it clear. We're really not that far off from just every year winning fucking.
I know. Your team
Olympic gold every
gets better and better and better every time. I mean, the game of hockey because
we keep stealing the good Canadians. That's what we do here.
I don't know though, because the thing is that you have some great players.
We keep accepting their migration, is what I would say.
Yeah, their defection is.
Well, we swat down the ones that's like. Well, can you ball? And they're like, nah, not really. It's like, can you skate? And he's like, fuck yeah, I can skate. It's all right, come in.
Yep.
It's like, your wife's what? She rows crew? No, get the fuck back over there. You'll get a new wife down here. It's called Miami, bro.
Yep.
Listen, man, we
have no room for these people.
Look, Connor Hellebuck, great goaltender there for you guys.
Your boy Austin Matthews.
Austin Matthews is super talented.
Okay.
Phil Kessel.
I thought you really want to say he's greatest of all time. Just say
Come
it.
on now. No.
You wanna say that.
He's one of the top. He's got to be one of the top 10 Leafs of all time,
Oh, boy.
and that's saying something.
How long?
Yeah,
has he
saying
been
something.
playing? How long has he been
That's
playing?
saying the Leafs history is whack. is
Yes.
what that's
Oh
saying.
my gosh!
The guy that's in the league
5 years in the league.
3.5 years.
3.5 years. He's top 10 already.
Top 10.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yikes.
Yikes. All right, now that I said that lofty claim, let's move over.
It's like saying Josh Allen's the best quarterback at Buffalo Bills history.
No, that's still Jim Kelly. Come on now. Come on.
And
now.
Frank Wright, to be honest. Josh Allen is maybe third. Maybe.
So my one-on-one question is, with the extra week in football, should we be seeing more 2,000-yard rushing yards for running backs? Should we be seeing more of that? You have a whole extra week. It should be an easier plateau to actually reach, no?
No, it's getting to 1,900 yards is difficult. And then you still have to look at a situation. Yeah, there's an extra game. But if you have a guy that's tickling 2,000 yards rushing, you're probably going to be resting him that last game of the season. Your season's probably sorted out by then, to where you're not going to be that. Again, Jonathan Taylor could get 60, 70 yards in the first half. You're going to assume that there was some points scored there to where you don't have to start him or work him as hard. And, you're still going to have the managing of the players and stuff like that. And I think it becomes even more so like that, where it comes kind of a fluff hand job game.
I think when you look at average, to your point, I would say when you look at average games, guys are averaging 105, 107 yards a game. And, there's not a bunch of 1,900 yard receivers or running backs or whatever. I mean, it's just 100 yards an extra game isn't going to make or break it. I mean, obviously they have a shot because, it's an extra game, to your point. And everyone is going to, someone's going to have a 200-yard game, a 250, whatever.
Sure.
It's going to help, but I wouldn't say we see an influx of those numbers.
Yeah, and that's really still the wildest thing about Derrick Henry is it took Jonathan Taylor 2 fucking weeks to pass him.
Right. Just to catch him. It took him 3 weeks.
To catch him, 3 weeks to pass him. It's fucking crazy, and he's still top 8. Derrick Henry,
crazy.
He's almost half the season. He's top 8. That's the kind of year he was having.
That's unbelievable.
937 yards,
man.
Ugh.
You got one
that brings us to a close. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
2022.
Enjoy yourselves. Best day of the year is today, unless you make it different. Till next time, kids, be good or be good at it.
Right out.
You've listened to the podcast, but now it's time to visit us in our virtual sports bar. Get all of our info at guysbeersports.com, where you can find all the ways to connect with us. Watch for live conversations with Brad and Sean that happen throughout the week, and join in with your favorite local beer. You can share your thoughts in the conversation comments with your own uploaded videos, or even join us as a guest live commentator. The GBS Virtual Sports Bar is open for business. Come on in, boys and girls.